Hi all, Rob here from Way Out West. Welcome back to the channel. Sorry, it's been a while since I've posted an interview. There's been a lot going on. Anyway, I've just had a chat with Mark Nunis, who was a fantastic pianist and singer with the band South East Gents. Mark will be bringing his band to the club Sunday the 24th of November from 2 p.m. Just like me, Mark is a lover and historian of New Orleans music across all the New Orleans piano professors. I am so looking forward to this one. It will be party time at Way Out West for sure. As always, hit the like and subscribe button as it helps me out enormously. As they say in New Orleans, the c'est la bonne ton roulé. Can you tell us how you got into playing piano organ? Was it a family tradition with you guys?
Yeah. So my grandfather was a musician. He played a number of instruments, and he actually introduced me to playing the organ when I was about 6 years old. He unfortunately he had a heart attack, so he came and lived with us to as recovery. And he brought his instrument. He brought the organ for his own rehab,
Hmm.
and he started teaching me. So I actually started off on the organ when I was around about six, and then and then I went on to piano a couple of years later because there was a school talent show, and they didn't have a piano for me to play. They only had an organ. Oh no, sorry, they only had a piano, not an organ. And so I went to my teacher and said, "Oh, can you teach me on the piano?" And she said, "Yep." And then she actually said to mum and dad, "I think he should stick on piano, and then go back to the organ later," which I
Oh,
did.
yeah, cool. And you mentioned just before, so are you a full-time musician or do you have a side hustle as well?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm a teacher. I teach full time in a primary school. I
Mhm.
teach performing arts, and then I do quite a few gigs every week as well. So I'm lucky to be able to do both things that I love. And the gigs are always varied too. So a majority of the stuff I do are piano bar
Mm.
entertainment.
Yep.
But love playing in the band, and we've started the South East Gents this year, so that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. What primary school are you at, mate? Because my wife's in the education system.
Oh, right, yeah, I teach it too. I teach at a school in Croydon and another one in Ringwood.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, part time at both schools, which is
Right.
good. Yeah,
So you're bringing Southeast Gents over to us Sunday the 24th, and
yeah, looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it because I don't know if the Squire has told you, I'm a bit of a New Orleans tragic. So what actually drew you to the city of to the music of the Crescent City?
Uh, you know, I've been a massive fan of New Orleans music probably since I was around about 13. Um, I'm a little bit older than 13 now, but it was when I first heard Harry Connick Jr. actually, and of course he's a native of New Orleans. So when I was studying at school, I like jazz music, jazz piano in particular, and but then through finding out more about Harry Connick, I discovered about Professor Longhair and James Booker and Dr. John and all those great, New Orleans musicians. I mean, they're piano players, but yeah, from then that was where the passion really came to it, and I went to New Orleans for the very first time last year with my family, and I was only there for 4 days, but it changed my life. So it was
That's
great. I can't
interesting.
wait to go back.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't go last year, but I've been there 10 times, and
Wow.
I lived there for 3 months, so I've got a lot of friends
Oh,
there. But
yeah, right.
yeah, I'm a bit like you. I went there and I thought this is where I could live or die for the, this is, and it took my wife a little while to catch on to it because it can be a bit grimy and a bit, in your
Yeah.
face. But if you can get away from Bourbon Street and get out and, You know,
Yeah.
get out to the neighbourhoods. It's sensational. Yeah.
Yeah, we literally, because we were only there for 4 days, we literally stayed in the French Quarter. That's where we were staying, and I mean all the jazz stuff is in the French Quarter.
Mm.
And then I went to Bourbon Street as well. I actually played at the Julie Piano Bar there
Oh yeah, I know it.
for sat in there a bit.
Mm.
Yeah, which was fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I didn't really get out to the suburbs though, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what we're lucky because we've made, as I said, we've made friends and they can give us a heads up
Yeah,
on where to go and that sort of thing. Although
yeah, yeah,
I know I never should talk about politics, but I'm a bit reticent about going back there while that orange maggots in, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
Um, I was going to ask you about some of the piano players because they go back, you know, you can go right back to Jelly Roll Morton. Um,
yeah.
there's an older guy that didn't record a lot called Archibald. So if you ever get a chance to catch up with him, and of course the fantastic Alan Toussaint is
Absolutely, yeah.
incredible. Yeah, I'll send you a photo of me and Alan Toussaint hanging out.
Oh, really? Wow, that's cool.
Again, a friend of a friend. So why do you think New Orleans music in general has such a worldwide appeal?
It, really. I don't know. There's New Orleans music. It's not just like there's New Orleans jazz and there's New Orleans blues and there's New Orleans funk and there's New Orleans reggae. Like there's so many different styles that sort of come from that area. And I think it's a lot of variety. So people are listening to different things that might catch their attention a little bit. They may not be into the trad jazz, but they might like the funk side of it. Or they like the Caribbean style of it as well. The Creole kind of vibe as well. So one of the comments, we just finished doing 2 gigs this weekend, and one of the comments we got was, "Wow, it's such a variety of music that it just kept the listener's attention because it was the stuff that we're doing is we try and honor that from there."
Yeah,
and
you're right.
yeah,
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 I mean, you got the brass bands and then Cajun and
absolutely.
Zydeco, and it's just
Yeah, that's
it's a
right.
melting pot of everything. It's
It is.
fantastic.
It is.
So
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
us who you have in the band. Obviously, I know Grant pretty well. He's
yeah,
been coming to Way Out West for the probably 23 years we've been existing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you're a bit like him, mate. He never ages either. You've got a, I don't know what you guys' formula is, but who's the other guys in the band?
Yeah, so we've got Gideon Marcus, who's on drums, and Ryan Lim on guitar.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it's sort of, so Gideon and I, we taught together, actually. We taught at the same school 10 years ago. And during our lunch times and recesses, when we didn't have to look after kids or anything like that, we used to jam in our rooms. And we always said, "Oh, we've got to put something together," but it never really eventuated. And then last year when I went there, I was messaging him saying, "This is amazing. We have to do something, when we get back." And he said, "Oh, I'm going to be there in a few months." And so he was messaging me while he was there. And I sort of put him in some of the contacts that I made as well. So he sort of caught up with some of those guys as well. And yeah, he's like, "Right, okay, we have to do something." And then it took another year for us to actually put the band together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was reading also, and you did mention it, that you do some solo work as well. Is that like, I don't know, the Billy Joel Piano Man type stuff you do, or?
Yeah. It's all that's totally different. Yeah, it's great. It's all request based. You think of it as a massive sing around the piano, and people yell out or they write on request sheets, songs that they'd like to hear. And the gig is basically playing those songs and trying to get the crowd involved by either singing or or playing what they want to hear.
Yeah. Do they catch you out every now and then with a song you don't know, or?
It's all requests, and it's great. You get to play Billy Joel, Elton John. I mean, I get to play even some New Orleans stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Do you
You know,
do you get people in the crowd trying to test you out and throwing something crazy at you? Play some
absolutely.
Frank Zappa or something?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's always different.
Yeah,
It's different, and you know, I can't rap very well, so
yeah, yeah,
I try and stay away from that stuff. But
yeah,
I'll give anything a shot.
yeah,
That's the gig. It's fun. It's
yeah.
fun.
And have you? Is it true that you've done some cruises as well? You've been working in,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So through the piano bar kind of stuff. Yeah, I did cruises with
yeah,
Carnival ships for a while,
yeah.
for about maybe 3 or 4 years, just before we went into lockdown.
Hmm.
And yeah, got to travel around all over the place, which was great. The longest cruise I did was from Sydney to Hawaii, which they called the crossover,
Yeah.
because the ship I was on the I can't remember the name of the ship now, one of the Carnival ships. It was heading back to the States to do that stretch of cruising.
Yeah.
And they actually requested for me to do that one, which was quite nice. So
Yeah.
it was a good time.
And you've done some work in Europe too?
Yeah. So we again last year when we went on this family holiday, last year, I played with some amazing guys over there and people who I'd met on the cruise ships actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some young English musos,
Yeah.
and that was great. And yeah, and also Southeast Asia, I've played in Singapore,
Yep.
as well. And yeah, it's no, it's I've been lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you put on a show with South East Gents, what sort of songs can we expect in your set list?
Yeah, well, we do a lot. We do quite a lot of Professor Longhair tunes.
Mm-hmm.
We do Dr. John. We do a lot of John Cleary stuff as well. Alan Toussaint as well. We've got in our set list, and we've got an original that we're nearly finished recording, and yeah, and just that probably covers some of Henry Butler as well. We do as well. Yeah. So
I've seen Henry Butler before he passed away. Another one's Henry Gray too. He's
right.
great piano, or was a great piano player.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was going to ask. Now, this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Very important, this question.
Okay.
Seeing you're a New Orleans fan like me,
yeah,
I need to ask, can you cook a gumbo from scratch, including the roux?
I hate to admit this, but I had gumbo for the first time over the weekend.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. And you know what, Rob, when we were in New Orleans last year, the 4 days we were there, I didn't eat or sleep. Because I was there with my wife and my son.
Yeah.
And basically, as soon as we got there, like I was just trying to soak up the music and the atmosphere as much as possible. And I met people who I got to jam with and sit in with. And each time that sort of happened, it was either around about lunchtime or dinner time. And I was just so engrossed in what I was doing that I didn't try the cuisine while I was over there. Whereas my wife and my son went out to all these fancy restaurants and had gator tail and all that kind of stuff. Had gumbo and actually I did try a po' boy, but I didn't really like it. That was the only thing. That was the only thing.
Depends on what they put on it.
Yeah. But other than that, it was I was purely just surrounded and involved in the music while I was there for the 4 days.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah. I might try and make something and bring it to the gig. So I did a couple of cooking courses over there.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. Yeah.
And there's a shop over in Moorabbin. It's a US warehouse food place.
Yeah.
So they stock a lot of the spices and stuff. So
all right.
So we head over there every now and then, get the hot spices.
Yeah.
And I really love your merch, mate. It's really authentic, Louisiana sort of
thank you.
merch. I had a look on your website. So I
Yeah.
hope you bring a fair bit with you because we normally sell a bit of merch. So
Yeah. Well, we've got hats. We basically got hats and stubby holders
yeah,
that we've got this. And then yeah, the online stuff is yeah, available online, which is just made to order basically.
yeah.
So yeah. But no, thanks for checking it out.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was trying to do a bit of research because
Yeah,
a lot of the musos I sort of know a little bit about, but
yeah,
I wasn't sure about you, so
yeah. No,
check a
no
few things out.
worries.
So,
Yeah,
would I be right in saying that we can expect one hell of a party on the 24th?
yeah. We try and bring the party. We try and bring the vibe. Um, you know, like we really love what we do,
Mm,
and as I said, it's about the groove. And Gideon's such an amazing drummer. He's
mm,
just
mm,
yeah, he can't help but
mm.
move, I reckon.
Yeah, yeah,
And just the whole band as a unit, you know, we really sort of lock into each other. And as I said, we try and pay tribute to that music. And for me as a piano player, you know, I try and honor that as much as I can.
yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, I mean, James Booker is, I mean, he's there's no one close, really, is there? Like,
He lived a tough life, though,
he
Mr.
lived a very
Booker.
tough life, yeah.
You,
But
I
yeah,
read, if you went to see him play, it was either going to be the most incredible thing you've ever seen, or
yeah,
maybe not so.
yeah. I
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and yeah, and you know, we try, we definitely try and bring the party, you know,
yeah,
and you know, people can listen to it if they're listening people, or they can get up and dance,
yeah,
and you know, it's we like to cater for both.
yeah. We had an artist come over and play for us from New Orleans called Johnny Sansone. He's a good friend of Fiona's. He's from New Orleans, and he was blown away because we had a reasonable crowd there. And he
Yeah.
asked the crowd, how many people have been to New Orleans? And he probably thought three or four people put their. There's 50 people put their arms up. So,
That's fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
All
great.
right.
I'm actually hoping to go back again next year.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let me know, and I'll give you a few contacts.
Oh, thank
I
you.
know a
Yeah, that's
few
great.
radio people and a few,
Oh,
people around the
fantastic.
trap. So, yeah.
Oh, thanks,
But
mate.
I might
Yeah.
have to come in your suitcase.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the guys also want to do that too.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, mate. Well, that's all I've got. I'll edit it
uh,
up. I'll send you a copy of it. And we're so
yeah.
looking forward to seeing you on the 24th.
Yeah.
I am. And maybe we'll get a second line going too or something like that.
That would be that would be great. That'd be great. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I don't know. Like as I said, I mean, you know, we always have we always have some special guests that come and join us. So
Yep.
if you've got people there who are horn players or whatever, and they want to jump up, let me know.
Yep.
And we can do When the Saints or Bourbon Street or something like that. Yeah,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
done
Cool.
that before.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, no, we're always up for the party, mate. It's
Yeah. Just,
yeah,
just on that, I've just finished reading a book about St James Infirmary because it has
oh yeah,
section. And you'd think a book about one song would be the most boring thing, but it's incredible because it goes way back to Louis Armstrong doing it,
yeah,
and so many of the great artists that did it. And
yeah,
some say it was there's never was a St James Infirmary in New Orleans. There was a St James Hotel, but just connecting all the dots, it was just a
yeah,
fascinating read about that. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'll bring it down and mate, I'll lend it to you.
yeah,
All right,
yeah. No
mate.
worries.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Oh,
We'll
thank you, mate. Yeah,
see
great
you
to
in a
talk to
week and
you.
a half, and yeah,
Look forward to it.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right, mate. All the
Thanks,
best.
mate. Cheers. See you
Bye.
later.
Bye.
Bye.